Welcome back, Northern Michigan. Dr. Jen Klobundy with Northwood Animal Hospital joins us again this morning. We've been talking about physical exercise and your dog, keeping it at a healthy weight. And last week we talked about, the difference between starting your dog out as a puppy running and waiting a few weeks, giving it some time to kind of build up its own body before you take it out running.
Right, because exercise is so important. Most of our pets are obese, and so we really need to do something to try to combat that. Exercising is a great thing. Jogging is a great thing. We have all of these wonderful running paths up here. You should get out and do it. You should get them out, just not too early.
Okay.
So it's very important, when they're puppies, their bones are developing, their muscles are developing, their joints, most importantly, are developing. And if you exercise them too young, you're going to cause permanent damage to these later on.
Now, is there a difference between the smaller breeds and the larger breeds if you take them out jogging or running?
There is. The small to medium breed dogs, they develop much faster than large to giant breed dogs. And so in a smaller medium breed dog, you want to wait until they're about 8 months of age before you take them out running. And at this point, running, I'm talking about 1 to 2 miles. You really have to pace yourself in them in the beginning.
Okay.
Don't start on your longer 5 to 10 or more miles until they're a little bit older. Kind of train them slowly, but in a small and medium breed dog, wait until they're 8 months to start training.
Okay. And let's say, for instance, someone out there has a pug, one of the, the smooshed face dogs, as we call them. There's another, detail that you have to take into consideration with those dogs.
Right. The bulldogs, the pugs, any of these, we call them brachycephalic, which means that they have a very shortened airway. Their noses are basically smushed up into their faces. They have almost no airway. They have trouble breathing just walking around the house. You hear them. They're snoring. They're kind of grunting. These guys shouldn't really exercise at all. They can go on walks and do short little bursts of energy, playing fetch.
Sure.
But boy, they get tired out just doing that, playing with the ball for a while. So don't take these guys running.
Don't push it. With those dogs.
What
about in the meantime when the dog's inside, say for instance, what can you do then?
So even though you're waiting until about 8 months in the small to medium breed dogs, in the large to giant breed dogs, you want to wait more between a year and a half to start exercising.
Okay.
And that's a long gap where they're growing. You want to get out, you want to socialize them, you want to take them places. You got this great puppy and you got them to do things with them, and now you have to wait 8 months to a year. But in the meantime, get them socialized, take them out around people.
Okay.
Because when you are exercising and jogging with them later, they're going to be around people, so they need to know how to act. Also get them used to the leash. You want to run them on a leash. That's the law. And so you need to get them used to that before you go out and do a big 5-mile course.
Kind of implement those social skills before you actually take them out there.
Yeah, build them up. Build up those social skills. Very important.
Perfect, Dr. Klobundy. Thank you so much. We're going to continue talking about this in about 15-20 minutes. Brendan's going to come back and talk more about keeping those dogs in shape. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good morning, Northern Michigan. Time now 6:45 on this Wednesday morning, which means it's time for Pet Talk. Dr. Jen Klobundy from Northwood Animal Hospital joins us again in the studio and continuing this very important conversation of keeping your dog healthy.
Right.
And so the question then is, how far can you really run with the dog? We see the differences between big dogs, small dogs. Can you break it all down for us?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing is over 40%, between 40 to 60% of our pets are obese. And that's not overweight. Wow. That's clinically obese.
Okay.
We need to get them out. We need to get them moving. The same can be said for us. There's a lot of overweight people. The more that we move, the healthier that we are. So let's get our pets out running. You just need to be careful, like we talked earlier, about their age.
Sure.
But there are some other factors that you have to be careful with, like temperature outside.
Right.
This is a big issue, especially, my gosh, if you live in California or Arizona or Florida, you want to be really, really careful because pets they have coats, they have fur coats all the time. So imagine us going out and running in an 80-degree day with a jacket on. That's just
pretty much
crazy.
What it is, yeah.
Yeah, and that is what it is. Pets can't sweat like we can. We can go out and wear a tank top and be cooled when the breeze blows because we have sweat on our bodies. Dogs and cats don't have that. So the only way that they can sweat is through their pads, and that's extremely minimal. So they can't sweat. They're wearing a coat. Dogs are crazy, and they will run until they collapse. So they have no self-control.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So then as an owner, you need to be able to say, hey, you've had enough for today.
Right.
But a lot of the times people go out and they don't realize how much distress their dog is in, so they go run 6 miles, even though If your dog had his choice, maybe he'd say, nope, I'm done in a mile, and we're still dragging him around for 5 more miles. Temperature is huge, and it affects them much more greatly than it does us. As a general rule, and we'll have this on our Facebook page, you can take the degrees of temperature, add it to the percent humidity, and if it's less than 155, it's safe to run with your pet.
Interesting. Okay.
So those are 2 things that you have to really know. Like if it's a 75-degree day with 80% humidity, you're at 155 and you really shouldn't be running with your pet at all.
Really good points there. And then the health status as well as the
Right.
dog. I mean, you know your pet.
Yeah.
Well, you probably know the health of the pet better than anybody else, but how do they determine that in terms of how far to run?
Yeah, and health of the pet, this is, is your pet obese? Most likely they are, or at least overweight. You need to take care of them. You need to take it easy because all of that extra fat tissue is insulation. So that means that not only are they wearing their fur coat, they're wearing a couple layers on top of that. You can't go out and run them like you would a healthy puppy. And the other thing is, are they older? Most older dogs have arthritis. If your pet is a large or giant breed, I can guarantee that they definitely have arthritis when they're older. And so this can be painful for them to go out and run.
Sure.
So you really need to take these things into account. Many, many factors when you're exercising your pet.
Right, and then also the surfaces that you're on too, and I'm sure, in the summer, obviously a blacktop would get quite hot, and you don't want those pads on the blacktop.
Yes.
So.
I made the mistake when I was a much younger person, not a veterinarian, to take my dog for a walk on a hot day. She literally burned off all of the pads on all 4 feet. So, I mean, this happens. And you can be very well intentioned. I'm going to go take my dog for a walk. And this happens. So be extremely careful. Once someone tells you that or it happens to you, you never forget it. Don't put them on concrete or pavement on a hot day. Stick to the grass or stick with a dirt trail.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then any other points that people should know about if they're wanting to get their dog in shape?
Just really take it slowly, and there's so many factors. We always say if it's too hot for you, it's too hot for your pet. This isn't really true. Even if it's okay for you, it can be very harmful to your pet. So we'll have all of these things posted. I know you will on your website, and we will on our Facebook page as well.
All right, great tips. Thanks so much for
Thank you.
coming in today, Jen.